Welcome to another Wednesday night at QuickFixGolf.com, where we have our Wednesday night extravaganza with special guest this week is Marc Cerio. We're going to talk about putting, and remember, you can always find us at QuickFixGolf.com. Go ahead.
And I'm Darren DeMailey.
And I'm Bobby Lopez. And we're the PGA pros at Tupelo Bay. It's hard to do when I'm in Virginia and he's in Myrtle Beach.
Oh, were we off sync there? I thought that sounded pretty good.
Well, anyway, here's our website.
So what we want you to do is we want you to get better at golf now, and you need to send us a swing. Get your cameras out. Get your cell phones out. Take a quick video of your swing and send it to us for a free analysis at quickservice@quickfixgolf.com. It's not a penny out of your pocket. Send it to us, and we'll send you back a personalized drill just for your swing.
It'll look something like this, but it'll be an actual movie, and you'll have that, so you'll never forget what you learned. We want to add on also that very shortly, probably about another week, we're going to start offering online classes in other areas such as Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Korea, and even Mexico. You no longer have to risk going over the fence to get better golf instruction. We'll take it to you.
Well,
And
there
here's
you
our
go.
guest tonight, Marco Cerio.
Hey.
And Marc, we want to tell me. We know you're with what is it called? SIK Golf.
SIK Golf, that's correct. I think you guys got a picture of DA points up on there.
And coming up.
Hey.
And there he is. And it says, I work the numbers for the mafia.
When I had a desk job, boys, all right?
You look like a mafioso there. Did you just finish shooting somebody or what?
Well,
Now here's
a good-looking picture right there.
DA points. He used your putter to win the Puerto Rican Open, right?
no, it's funny. We got DA a putter. I remember bringing it to him the week beforehand, and we also had Bryson in that tournament as well. He had come to us about a month before that. They both got in there. We're watching on this like a little, this was 2017, I think, when DA won, and we're all cramped in watching on a little iPad. It's four of us in the company that we're watching. Of course, we're hanging on every putt. Bryson just has a torrid finish, goes into the lead, and then DA kind of just took it home. But to have our putters finish 1-2 in that tournament was was a pretty big deal for us. It was amazing.
It really was, because you normally don't need a putter to win in Puerto Rico. You need a knife. Here's the winner of the Puerto Rican Open in 1981, Federico Sinvergüenza.
Oh, Federico.
And that's before you started making putters, right? So he could use the knife. I mean, anyway, that's what you need.
Yeah.
So this is you, right? Technology, what they call descending loft technology.
That's it, man. It's called DLT. And we, it descends from the top to the bottom. Look, the most important thing in determining distance control is dynamic loft at impact. So given the same circumstances, you go for a putt, and same stroke, same, all conditions are the same. You come through and you de-loft the club at impact, the ball's going to roll out further than if you come through and add loft at impact, the ball's going to roll out shorter. So how do you address the inability of a player to match that? So it's essentially a correction that is built into the face to address the change in loft from address back to impact of your putter. So what happens is that if you come through and you press a little, you de-loft the club at impact, well, the ball interacts with the top half of the club. So what's going to happen is you're de-lofting the club, and you interact with the top half, which is going to add the loft back for you. In the reverse sequence, if you increase the loft at impact, you're going to interact with the bottom half of our club, and we're going to take that loft away. So consistent launch angle leads to consistent distance control, and that's really the most important part of what we're looking for when we, when we're looking at.
Is there a specific number that you're looking for at impact, as far as negative, positive? I was always under the belief of -3 degrees of loft is really going to give you your best chance to roll the ball.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so that comes out of a Michael Breed study, and we kind of the -3, Michael Breed went through all of them. And look, when we look at it and we say, okay, what do you have to do to manipulate the club to -3 degrees? One, you're just not going to happen every time. Two, you're imparting overspin on the putt, which is nice, I suppose, for an uphill putt. Not so nice when you're doing break-in putts, and certainly not good when you are putting a downhill putt to produce overspin on the ball. These days, with the Quinnic system and the research we've done, we look between, you really want, and the surfaces, okay, 10 plus on stimp, you're looking for 1 to 2 of launch. So coming in negative on it, you know, or, you know, 4 degrees of loft where, you know, the old, you're trying to hit it up and out of the dimple and kind of get it rolling on the surface. 1 to 2 is going to produce, I mean, you can almost see that ball skidding off the face. I'm not sure who that is.
You see it skid right there?
You see it skidding?
Yes.
So, I mean, that, you know, that could be a combination of a lot of different things, but.
Now here's another one.
Yeah.
Where did you get these, Darren? Which one is which?
Oh, it's a secret I can't tell you.
Okay.
But this one's even worse.
Yeah. This looks like someone's wearing Pumas.
Yeah, Mark, can you just describe exactly? It's not Ricky Fowler.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that Ricky?
Look at this ball. This ball has not rotated all the way through here. Look at that
Bring
ball.
that back to impact, and if Mark could just describe what's going on there at impact for our listeners.
I mean, it's difficult with a putt, and I'm not sure what, you know, again, it's difficult with a putt. You have to capture it in slow. This is things that you wouldn't be able to see. To me, it's difficult to see. It looks like it's a little descending flow on this particular putt. It looks like it's starting to put some accident on it. I can't really see unless you play it through, so I can see what that dot is doing on the ball. If I show,
it's actually going backwards.
Yeah,
it's actually going backwards.
Exactly. So a lot of times when the average guy's on the side of their green, a long putt, right, and you putt and you can kind of hear the skidding, right, of the green. Or if you play in the morning and you have that dew strip and you hit a putt and you see that it skips, okay, that has to do with you either coming in with a descending or an ascending blow into the ball. A lot of that has to do with ball position. We see ball position all over the map with different people's strokes. People want to do what's comfortable. I found when I do what's comfortable in golf, I'm terrible at it. Like, if I'm uncomfortable, I know I got a shot at getting it where I need to go. Ball position is key in putting. We see it all the time. We see the people using old school kind of methods of getting the ball rolling, playing it off the front foot. We see that probably, 80 or 90% of the time is people want to play this like it's a driver, right? And it's forward to get that upward blow on it to get it either rolling or up and out of its divot. And we just don't, we like to see it in the middle of your stance. Your club should be at your sternum and the ball should be slightly ahead of that. Now, why at a body part? Well, at the sternum, your sternum's not going to move, right? When you go to set up, your feet can do a lot of different things. You'll never have them exactly where they are. But if you put the club at your sternum, that's going to stay there. And then it's not so much contingent on where you're going to put the where your feet are in relation to the club and the ball, if that makes sense.
I teach ball position as an upper body thing every day, and that makes complete sense. But as far as the putter, is it level at the hit? Is it up? Is it down? What's kind of your go-to for that?
Yeah, so we want between 1 to 2 degrees of launch. So the putter at the bottom of your swing, okay, we want an effective launch of around 2 degrees. So we're looking for low point of the putter swing, okay? So we're not looking to hit up, we're not looking to hit down, we're looking to hit from which we originally set the club down, right? So we don't want to add backspin. We don't want to add forward spin. We want a pure roll, which is going to look something like, it's not instantly going to roll off the putter face, but it's pretty close. It doesn't skid backwards. It kind of moves forward. As soon as the friction of the grass takes over, it starts to roll. 1 to 2 degree launch at impact is what we like to see for sure.
So for the average golfer, is there a certain amount of time the ball's actually on the green itself? I mean, I've seen some numbers from like TrackMan where say like 70% of the time the ball's on the green and 20 or 30% of it's kind of in the air. What do you guys?
I think what they're probably I don't on the Quintic, we don't really track that. My guess is what they're talking about is that it's if the ball's not in contact with the green, that means it's skipping and hopping, right? I think is that what they're referring to?
Yeah.
So that's not good. We want the ball on the green, and I think if you use one of our putters and you try it, the first time you roll it, you can notice, like, wait a second, the ball is rolling differently because it's truly a kind of a pure roll. So you can almost feel it. The first time, a couple times you putt with it, you're like, wow, like it feels like the ball is velcro to the green because it is rolling true as opposed to skipping and hopping around.
All right, let's take a look at one of the putters, Bobby. Can you bring up a slide?
Okay, let's go to. Well, wait a minute. First, let me ask you real quick about some of the past fitting systems that failed. Not to badmouth anybody because these don't exist anymore anyway. Remember the Schlesinger fitting system? Have you seen that?
No.
You've never seen it?
No.
Well, there was some guys from Henry Griffiths that moved over to Schlesinger, and then they made this putter fitting system, and I thought it was excellent. It used a laser light that you put in front of the face of the putter, and then they would bend the neck of the putter until you could get the laser right at the center point.
It is my professional recommendation that you attend the police union party. I thought you were worried about cell phone videos.
Somebody's TV on? I can't hear what's going on here.
Hold on. There we go. We got rid of both of those. All right. Now you can hear. Now this is the Edel fitting system.
Right.
What do you think of that? Or do you want to
look? The Edel fitting system is comes with an instruction book. I'm pretty sure. It's very good. I mean, his putters, obviously, he's a great craftsman. Couple things is we just didn't think that you need to make as intricate of a fitting system to accommodate most of the putters out there. And it doesn't have the DLT on the face. A lot of these putters we see with these squiggly grooves and the grooves that kind of go in circles, and I mean, they're just not doing anything. And in fact, the pattern on something like his putter, when you talk about dimple effects, which we do research on dimple effect, they just don't do anything for the roll of the ball. His craftsmanship is obviously, David Edel is fantastic on the mill. His stuff always looks great. We just didn't, it just doesn't have the DLT on it. And any putter with the DLT on it, it's going to be, you're going to have a better putter. And if you actually scroll down on our website page, you can see we have a picture of Bryson hitting a putt kind of at the feet, what you were showing.
Right there.
No, keep going down. It's an actual roll of the putter. And you can see, sorry, let me see. Because we have the same thing. Give me 1 second here. Tyler, where's the video of Bryson rolling the ball on our website? All right. Sorry, guys. If you go up on the website to SIK golf putting and instruction page, I believe it's there. If you go to the top of the page.
Top of the page.
Top of the website. All right, go down just a bit. There's good.
This is our studio right here on the right.
Yeah, that's our studio, and then the moving picture below it. This is at the Ryder Cup, and if you see the ball, you see how it does not start any backwards. There's no back rotation to it. As soon as it gets switching,
we're getting an echo here. This is GoToMeeting. It's supposed to be the best there is, but we got to find something else. This is ridiculous. Yeah, I'm getting a reverb.
Yeah.
All right, I'll shut up. Go ahead. You go.
Yeah. So, you know, this is kind of Bryson at the Ryder Cup, and this is kind of how we were tuning. And you see his ball position. The club's right at the middle. We use a ruler with him a lot. You know, I think a ruler with anybody when they're doing putting drills is good. Kind of put it down inside the ball. You can see your path of your putter. You can take a look at it. And, you know, the putter kind of follows along exactly what your full swing does, right? So if you come down the line of the ruler, swoop it in from the outside, what's going to happen? You're going to put hook spin on the ball. If you come back down that ruler and you take it outside and then try to come back in and cut across it, what's going to happen? You're going to put cup spin on it. And so you really want to, you know, concentrate on getting the ball rolling as pure as possible, end over end, with no side spin to it. And that's what we work on a lot with all of our players. You know, the studio is what we use, the Quinnick ball roll system, which is on the bottom right. And then we also use Putt View, which we think is just fantastic in terms of, you know, when we bring people out and we fit them on the Quinnick, and then the Putt View gives us kind of a real, you know, a little realer feel to just hitting putts down a straight line of a Quinnick. Now we have brake built in. We're looking at a die speed, 1 foot, 2 foot by. It gives you kind of the brake lines, gives you the kind of the contour lines of the mat you're on. And we use it for green reading, and then from there we'll go out to the real greens and see how things perform. We always tell people to bring their own putter in. Okay, we say bring your putter in. Let's get a baseline, and if people roll their putter better than ours, we will absolutely adjust their putter and send them home with it. We are interested in making people putt better. We will not just sell a putter out of there if it's not rolling better. But we just haven't found one that rolls better. So, I mean, I'm not trying to be, you know, flippant about it. It's just, I mean, it is what it is. Because of the self-correction built into the face of DLT, it just produces the best roll on the market. Guys that come close are professionals on the PGA Tour when they bring their in, because they're just all really fantastic putters. But you know, their acceleration profiles are great. Their hook and cut is, you know, top class. But even them, only 1 out of 5 times can they match their initial setup to their stroke. So we improve on consistency of launch, you know, across the board. And if you have a consistent launch, you have the ability to have a consistent distance control. And we know that the speed and line, I mean, that's you know, that's the name of the game in putting, and limiting 3 putts, and that's what we're about.
Oh, can you bring up just a picture of the putter in that DLT for everyone to see how that loft is actually dispersed on the putter? Pull it up on your slide. I think you got a good one on the slide.
Yeah, I think it would be on the home. Oh, there you go. So there you go. So there's actually 4 planes there, okay? And where it says 4, that means that plane has 4 degrees of loft, and then 3 degrees, and then 2 degrees, and then 1 degree of loft at the bottom. So it's not like a roll face. It's you know, it is like each one of those is its own little putter sitting on your putter, and that's what helps correct at the you know, correct that impact.
Well, that's pretty neat technology right there. How long have you guys been around, Mark?
So I joined the company about 5 years ago. I mean, Steve Harrison came up with this probably about 10 years ago. We were out on tour for a little while. He was. I mean, we've had I mean, I think the first person to use it was maybe Jim Thorpe used it. I think
Oh my.
Cindy Lyle used it. David Duvall used to use it. You know, we've had a lot of pretty big names use it. And then the company had I mean, long story short, it was just there was a kind of a patent with the face patent, and once that got out of the way, we kind of relaunched everything about 5 years ago. A year after we were around, Bryson walked into our shop and, you know, kind of changed the course of what we were doing. We always believed we'd have a good shot. We just needed to get in the right person's hands. We sent it to Quinnic to get validated, Quinnic ball roll, for them to validate our technology. And they sent it back and they're like, yeah, you got something here. So we just always believed in it. And then Bryson came through. He doesn't believe anything anybody says, I don't think. I think you always got to you always got to write a chart and prove it with numbers. But he took the putter from us, and I mean, he picked up the phone and called the engineers from Quinnic, because when we were showing them the numbers, he's like, this can't be. And so he picked up and called the engineers at Quinnic. He was like, okay. He took the putter from us and left with it, and we were all like, oh boy. And then he came back. He's like, all right, let's do this. Love it. Let's go. And
how much energy do you think the average golfer is losing with kind of a Costco brand putter? Because I see a lot of those at the golf course that we kind of teach at, compared to yours. It's a pretty big number, I would imagine.
How much energy?
Yeah, exactly. Like on a mishit with their putter versus a mishit on yours, you're not going to lose much energy on yours, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're transferring. Obviously, sweet spot is sweet spot. I look at some of these other, you know, not Michael Breed, but his name's escaping right now. We did a lot of research into off-center hits on putting, right? I mean, off-center hits is just not as critical. It's not like you're swinging it at that speed. So you don't want to lose a lot of energy during the putt. I'd say the most energy people lose is because they have a terrible putter and they have to putt so much. So they're losing real energy, man. Like the money people spend on their actual clubs as compared to their putter, and they're using the same amount of strokes, is, you know, it's pretty shocking sometimes. But I don't have me personally, I don't know the answer of the actual loss of energy, but that's certainly something we could, I could find for you.
Yeah, people, they don't put enough value into their putter, and you know, I always say if you're going to spend money on your equipment, you got to spend it on three things: your putter, your driver, and a good sand wedge.
There you go.
People don't think that putter makes a big of a difference, and it really does.
Well, it's a personal thing for people, right? Irons are too, wedges and drivers, but the putter is very, very personal to somebody. And they're like, you know, I found that I was in Maine and I found it, and it's whittled from a piece of driftwood, and I made the first putt with it, and I'll never put it away. And it's like, okay, you look at their bag, they got $3,000 irons and a $50 putter, and it's, you know. So people get very personal, and they stick with it. They have a good round with it. They want to stay with that putter, and I think that's a lot of what keeps people in. And then of course, a lot of people are just very loyal to other lines. But we're confident when people pick up our putter, they're going to roll it, and they'll be, they'll become a SIK fan for sure.
Now
so how can someone get a hold of you? What are some of the things they can do? Obviously, your website, and you've got some fittings around the country.
Yeah, so the fitting, we are releasing fitting bags all over the country, and our fitting bag, if you go to the website, you can go to our fitting bag options, and you can see what our bag looks like. And it's a simplified bag, but it's going to capture lengths, it's going to capture hosels, and it's going to capture a couple different sight lines. And so so if you go down, you'll see a picture of our fitting cart on there. It might be on fitting I'm sorry, go up. It's probably under, it says fitters at the top. Yeah, there you go. So if you look, we have 6 models, we have 4 hosels, and we do a sight line on back and a sight line on top. And we just try to simplify the fitting cart to the most important things. And that's kind of where the idea came from. So as we release them, we fill them up on the website. We're trying to get about 100 by the end of the year out. And while we are accustomed in fitting shop, it's something to understand is obviously you can buy a putter. Any putter that you're going to buy, we believe, you know, having grooves is better than not, and having DLT is better than anything. So we sell putters. You don't need to get fit for them, but you know, we always recommend getting fit and kind of dialing it in for sure.
Can you fit without having all that fancy gear that you got from England there? That's
well,
the Quintec or something like that. What's it called? Quintec?
Yeah, that's a Quintec. There's other things you can do. The problem, I mean, it's just like anything else. I mean, how well could you fit before flight scope or TrackMan?
Right.
You know, you can to some extent see the tendencies of a miss, and you know, if someone misses left all the time and they're using a toe hang from that's very, you know, 80 degrees of toe hang, maybe putting them in a face balance putter will help that. So rudimentary fitting, yeah, but you know, the technology always helps. A, because it's giving you exact, and B, because it allows other people to put their putter up against ours, and then they can see why our roll's so much better. So, but is it required? No, but you know, most competent, or not competent, I want to say competent, most you know, most studios that are trying to get into putter fitting will have something, and that's, we kind of look for that. And again, it's just the data that it provides is, you know, you can't get it any other way.
Have you seen the one that V1 has? That's an add-on to their system for putting. Is that of any use?
No, I haven't. But I can tell you the owner of V1 will be. We're building a putter for him. So I don't know if that helps.
It tells you something, doesn't it?
That's right.
Any questions? If anybody has a question, you can put a question in the chat room here. Oh, see, hold on. Here you go. Do the fitters have to be certified by you?
Fitters?
Yes.
No, they don't have to be certified. Look, our fitting cart is, when we took a look at all the fitting carts in the industries, we wanted to make it like I said, so you didn't have to go to class for, you know, a few weeks to figure it all out. We didn't want to send out an instruction manual for how all the pieces work. And we didn't want to hamper people with long-term leasing options and rentals and purchase. So the way we do it is we kind of take a look at where you are. We take a look at kind of, we ask for photos to kind of look where you're going to put it. Again, you know, looks aren't everything. We just, you know, we want to make sure someone's not doing it out of their garage. We hope people have a website for us to help point people to, Facebook page, things like that. So we do a little bit of research, and then it's a performance-based scenario. So we'll give you the cart. We're not going to charge you for it, but if you sell enough putters, you get to keep it. If you don't sell putters, we'll just kindly ask for it back. And nobody wants to keep a dusty, sick golf cart in the corner. And we don't, you know, we're making the investment by doing this, so we just want people to at least put us in the game, right? If you're gonna come in and truly fit people, then you have to put us in the conversation. If they're gonna come in and say, I want to bet Nardi, I want a Scotty Cameron. Well, we love that. We think they should pick it up, but we also expect that you put our putter into the play so that, you know, it opens people's eyes for it. We're going to be starting a huge marketing campaign this year, so really push people to our fitters, and that's kind of it. So no, there's no training, there's no class. We will help out. We always help out our fitters. So anything that they have, any questions that they have, but it's as simple as changing the head out, putting the shaft is glued to the hosel. You just put a screw in the bottom, and off you go.
Now, what do you do for alignment of the face?
Well, when we're doing fitting,
Right. Yeah. When you're fitting, what do you do for the alignment of the face?
the hosel when it screws in, it's not circle. It's an oval shape. So by putting them together, it squares the face with the grip. So we pre-build everything, okay, and then our fitting putters are exactly the same as our regular putters. They just have a hole and the hosel has threads in the bottom. You just screw a stainless steel through the bottom of the club into the hosel, and the shape squares it up to the grip. Does that make sense?
So the shaft itself is oval. It's not round.
No, just where it fits into the head. If it was round, I mean, if you're squaring, if you're wondering how they get put together so it's square.
Well, I'm saying like the Schlesinger system we had. You had that little box you put in front of the face with the laser light, so then you could tell whether they were pointed. You'd make a little crosshairs 12 feet away, and they would point at it. And if it was to the right, you bent the shaft a certain way. If it was to the left, you bent it the other way. And they tried to bend the neck to fit your eye as to where you would point that putter.
Wow. Well, what we do, again, is instead of accommodating the club to meet the eye, is we use the laser to fix the person, not the club. So if I put you in a club and you're aiming at six inches right, I'm not gonna crank on that club. We're gonna work on what are the reasonings behind you looking to the right. A lot of the times, people don't use a line on their ball. Why? I have no idea. But my guess is if people use a line on the ball with that laser system, they'd probably be a lot more accurate.
Paul Belmont asks, what is a putter fitting versus iron fitting? Loft, length, lie, etc.
Yeah, so it's head shape and toe hang. So when I talk about hosels, I talk about toe hang as in a slant neck will have 80 degrees of toe hang. A plumber's neck will have 45 degrees of toe hang, and a face balance putter will have 0 degrees of toe hang, right? It's gonna, 0 to like 10 is still considered a face balance putter. But you got to be careful when you go in. You say, hey, I'm a face balance guy. I know it. I have a straight back, straight through stroke. Well, I hear that all the time, but the reality is that you really don't know. You might, no stroke is straight back and straight through, right? Because there is lie on the putter. It's on a plane. I have people come in that say I'm a face balance guy. I'm straight back, straight through. We put them on the system. By the time they leave, they're in a slant neck, which has the most toe hang. So it happens all the time. You just don't know. It's usually the opposite of what you think, like everything else in golf, right? And so between fittings and iron is very similar. We're looking at numbers, we're looking at spin numbers. So we're doing length, which can impact length. Believe it or not, impacts your positioning to the ball. So some people tall people think they need a really tall putter, or short people think they need a really short one, but it doesn't. You put the the putter, it's distance from the ball sometimes with putter length. Toe hang can impact it, and then we're looking at spin characteristics. So yeah, length, toe hang, and line. Sometimes the sight line. Now, our two basic ones are line on back and line on top. Now, it is psychological, and I'm not sure why. I haven't been able to pinpoint it yet, but sometimes people have a tendency to miss right with a line on back putter. I'll put them in a line on top putter, line on the top flange. And sometimes it'll help them pull right to the hole. And in the reverse, if they're missing left, sometimes I'll put them in a line on back putter, and for some reason, they will push it right into the hole. So, these psychological things play into it for sure. Knowing the numbers is huge when you're fitting irons or putter.
Yeah, well, Darren's the big numbers guy, and he's right. You can't fight the statistics.
You can't.
It's just today. What's the other group we had on, Darren? It's your buddies there.
Yeah, we had Decade on a couple weeks ago.
Lou Steger. You know them by any chance?
No.
But they do statistics, and they just sat down with Brad Faxon, and Brad Faxon said he felt like he putted better when he was always a little bit past the hole, and they proved through the statistics looking at his past putts that was not the truth. It was actually the reverse.
There you go.
So you think you're doing X and you're doing Y, and I'm sure I'm doing that all the time. I mean,
Wasn't that Jack Nicklaus's book that pretty much got debunked when they came out with the TrackMan? You know, it was like what he was feeling, right? He was writing what he was feeling, and people will say you got to feel. Well, is what you're feeling real? And what we find out from technology is that no, it's usually not, right? When you're trying to feel something to produce something on the ball, the numbers are off the ball. I mean, they are what they are. You know that if you're rolling the ball, if you're not putting cut or side spin on it, is better than putting cut or side spin on it.
Paul, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, not at all. Go ahead.
Paul Bevman has a follow-up question here. He says, "What is toe hang?"
Okay, so if you take your putter in both hands and you kind of stick you hold the grip loosely in your left hand and you let it bounce across your finger, your right index finger, okay? What happens to the toe of the club? It's literally refers to where is the toe hanging on the club. So on a face balance, where you'll see a double bend in the shaft, if you hold the grip lightly in your left hand, balance it over your index finger in your right, the face should point directly to the ceiling. That refers to a face balance putter. For a slant neck that has 80 degrees, when you do that, the toe will swing open and down to 80 degrees. And that's what toe hang is.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
Hope that
it's
helps.
How the club rests in its resting state off the ground, kind of in your hands, where the toe is going to be. And it's really where the shaft you have to look where the shaft intersects the center of the club. A slant neck is very short, makes the shaft intersect towards the heel. Therefore, that's the center of gravity. And boom, the club will hang over.
Cameron here has a question. Said, "Who's your target audience?" I can tell you that: rich, crappy golfers.
We like all kinds of crappy golfers.
Now, really, the better golfers probably has more appreciation for what you're doing. Do they not?
What's that? Yeah, exactly. Well, people that understand, look, we with our logo and our name, SIK Golf, we want everybody, but for the younger guys, you hear SIK all the time. For the older guys, it's studying kinematics, and kinematics is the study of motion, and that is what we do. We study from the ball back, and what that refers to is we won't care what your stroke looks like. If the ball is rolling good, we'll keep you right where you are. But if the ball data is crap, then we're going to help you get into a position to be more successful putting.
What about Kuchar's putter? Do you know anything about that?
Well, I just know that it's certainly an arm lock style, but it's basically, and I'm sure someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but they put a little more loft on it. It's a standard lie putter, and it is played off his front foot. I mean, we just designed our arm lock differently. Some people like that Kuchar. To me, it's more in line with a traditional setup. It's just kind of locking the shaft in. With our arm lock, it's a new process. It's a new way of putting, and we don't necessarily, we're not looking to necessarily just replicate what people are doing traditionally. What they're doing traditionally is not working. That's why they come to us, or that's why they consider an arm lock. And so our arm lock putter, we're always about taking variables out. How can we remove variables from the stroke, from the game, right? One of the variables in there is your wrists. And people, they get the yips at all ages, and they use their quick twitch muscles, and we just focus on getting people to use their larger ones. The arm lock takes the wrists, takes the hands and wrists out of the putting stroke. And so it removes that variable. Our face removes the variable of varying lofts. It's going to vary, but we're going to capture it a lot. We're going to capture it in that 4-degree window. And that's really what we try to do with everybody. Take away variables, get the ball rolling, end over end.
Here's another question. It says, do the SIK putters, somebody just came over, have oversized grips or not recommended with SIK putters?
Any grip is the only thing we don't recommend. And again, this is preference. I don't want anyone to get mad at me. People can do whatever they want. We don't like counter core grips. We use Jumbo Max on our arm lock. That's a huge grip, right? We use, people use bigger bics like the Garson grips, right? The Garson Max. You absolutely use. We just don't like the counter core ones. If someone calls me like, I want a counter core, I'm like, sure. But having the weight above your hands it's worthless. It just doesn't bear out with the numbers, and it often can take away from the performance of the putter. We want weight below the hands. So these counter core things. Other than that, any grip go on there you want. It's just like a regular putter.
Could an arm lock work with a claw grip? Someone asked. I think that's
yeah, sure.
Sure, I think so. Now I know.
So you're taking your traditional grip on the putter, and the arm lock, and you're putting it on the ground, and then the grip comes up above your hands, of which you're then, from that position, you're simply pressing it, kind of pressure behind your right hand to lock your left forearm. We put tons of loft on it, and we put we put loft and lie on it to help correct all that at the bottom of the swing.
All right, Darren, you got anything?
No, I mean, we're really appreciative for your time, Marc. Very informative.
Yeah.
And it makes complete sense. You guys are doing a great job, and we're probably going to see a lot more of you guys going forward. There's no doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. Anytime you guys want to talk putter, I'm here for you. And then of course anyone can contact us. info@sikgolf.com, and anyone who's interested in a bidding cart, feel free to contact us. And you can put our number down there.
We're getting feedback for some reason.
Yeah, I'm getting it here too.
And it's not anybody's microphone that's on. Isn't that weird?
You think it was me? No, it's gone.
Darren's microphone went away.
So yeah, 352-0148. Give us a call. Love to help you out. And
or go to silkgolf.com, sikgolf.com, excuse me, SIKGOLF.com. That's the website.
That's it.
And Marco, grazie.
Prego.
Ciao.
All right. Ciao. All right.
Have a good night. Thanks again, Marc.
You got it, guys. Anybody else? Yeah, just email. We're here.